Welcome to another Night Shift Top Secret Information podcast with myself and my awesome host, Anthony Raimondi at Conservative Ant. Bring Anthony on in here. Last week, hello, Ant. Good to see you this evening. How are you, sir? Your hat looks sharp, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm using some of the neon colors, you know.
I like the neon colors. Today we're talking, like last week we talked about surviving a satanic cult from a childhood experience, the Jimmy Toro story, horrifying. And to hear it from the words of Jimmy Toro's mouth gave both of us chills, I think. So this week, as we dive down the rabbit hole, I wanted to soften it up for us a little bit and just take it in a little direction, because we've done history of conspiracies. We did secret societies and how they're controlling us, which is a little doomy and gloomy. Then we had the satanic cult survivor that was a childhood satanic, which was deep and disgusting and horrifying and sad and all the emotions. And it wasn't really a lot of happiness that came out of that. Now, this I wanted to switch it up because this is part of the rabbit hole. I kind of wanted to surprise you with this. I was told by another famous podcaster who has an incredible book called The Terrorist Whisperer. His name is Hamidi Jassem, a survivor of America's first Iraqi spy. And he was, I've podcasted with this guy a few times. It's a harrowing story about surviving Iraq and being imprisoned by Saddam Hussein and becoming the youngest command sergeant major of all time. So this guy, and he's in with General Petraeus and the whole nine yards. General Petraeus actually brought him here to the United States, gave him sanctuary here in the United States. And so I meet with him from time to time, and he says, Eric, what is this conspiracy show that you're getting into with Conservative Ant? He's like, I'm actually a big fan of Conservative Ant. And I said, yeah, this is what we're doing. He said, do me a favor. I know a guy. I know this guy. And he is into orbs, astro traveling, channeling. He's just got a lot going on. You got to talk to this guy. He's all about like spiritual healing and all these things. And so through him, I was able to get this number. I meet this guy for coffee. Anthony, I'm going to forewarn all of you and our viewers, this dude is intense. This dude is on some kind of weird spiritual high that we have to learn about. It's something I'm not on. Sure. I'd like to get on that train. Yeah. And he has just a crazy story that I couldn't keep up with. And I said, I don't even want to try. I got to bring on another expert, which is Anthony Raimondi. And maybe the two of us together can try to understand or make sense of this spiritual beings. Before I bring in David Bruce, what are your feelings on orbs and channeling, astro traveling and stuff? So
I don't know what so I wrote that down. I don't know what astro travel is, and I'm sure that David will tell us about it. Orbs, though, so I'm a huge spiritual person. I feel like that I've seen things before. So orbs, it's a thing, I think, in my opinion. I think that they are something. So I'm interested to hear what he has to say. Also interested on the astral travel. So we'll see where that leads.
And as our viewers are listening to this, I will actually be in person with Anthony Raimondi as this is going out. So we will be sitting here live with you guys in the live chats on the premiere live. So we're sitting together on the couch right now, watching us. We're basically astro traveling to Florida for a live preview of this. And then we're actually going to be with GhostBed, who is our sponsor for today's show. GhostBed, ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. We'll have our own promo code soon for Night Shift TSI. But if you want sleep so good it's scary, head over to ghostbed.com using that promo code Wolfpack. Right now you can get 40% off across the board for a new welcome to GhostBed things. But Anthony and I are traveling to the GhostBed factory in Fort Lauderdale on Monday. We're going to get to meet everybody there. We're going to get to lay around on some beds, make some content over there. So that'll be really exciting. We're really stoked to have GhostBed on Night Shift Top Secret Information. So thank you guys for all being in the chats. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to our special guest tonight, who is David Bruce, orb specialist, addiction recoverer. I don't know what to call you, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, man. Well, you said it really well. I really am on a healing journey. So about 2 years ago, I found my girl dead from addiction. So my dad died before that. Right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, just stay right on the mic. So wait, your
my ex-girlfriend
died?
Yeah, she died from an overdose. So I got back into addiction real bad when my father died and came back to Raleigh, North Carolina and the Garner area and hooked up with an old girl from high school. and started using again, right?
Okay.
And we just started lightly, going out, like drinking, doing coke, doing pills. And then those pills moved into heroin and fentanyl and meth and Xanax, everything you can think of, right? Bam, 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 hitting it hard, man, for a couple years. We turned into the biggest junkies you could think of, just straight scumbags, man. I'm shooting everything in my arm you could think of. She goes out one night. We're fighting over some dumb shit, dude, using. I have a buddy that's actually was on the run from the police for over some dumb bullshit warrant at the time, living in an RV in my driveway, right? And he would be working on shit for me. He was working on a car at the time. And this is like the first sign of divine intervention for this situation I'm about to tell you about, because this cat never woke me up. Like, this is my sanctuary. He knew not to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for some reason this morning, he was blowing up my phone. He was doing everything he could to wake me up. Finally, I get up and like, why is this motherfucker waking me up, dude?
Yeah.
He's like, we're supposed to.
Right.
Anyways, that woke me up. I go in, I try to wake up my girl. She's dead, dog. Dead as a doornail. We start working on her. I'm finding the Narcan. I'm hitting her with 3 Narcans. I'm hitting her with CPR. She had been gone, I don't know how long without oxygen, but they didn't expect her to even survive. And if she did survive, they said she would have extensive brain damage. So mind you, when this all happened, this was during COVID, right? So they pull her out of my spot. They bring her down in a bag. And I'm like, yo, she's done. She's gone, right? Well, they take her to Wake Med. They're working on her just religiously, man. The guy really should have stopped from what they said in the ambulance, but for some reason he kept going. They get her there, dude, and it's me and her parents up in Wake Med, and the doctor comes in, and the doctor's like, look, she was without oxygen way too long. All of her organs shut down because a little bit of oxygen she did have went to her brain to try to save her, right?
Yeah.
So if she does survive, she probably ain't going to be right. She's probably going to be brain dead. Dude, something clicked in me. See, when I grew up, I remember choosing my body, choosing my mother. Ever since I was a little kid, I've had pre-birth experiences. Talked to my mother about it. It wasn't something nobody else talked about. I found out real quick other people didn't have those experiences, right, as a young kid.
Yeah.
And my dad shut that shit down. So I talked to it about with my mother, and that was it. Buried that shit, got into addiction, got into the corporate world, cleaned up when I had my kids. Bam, my dad died, came back here. That happened.
Yeah.
Right? So something just clicked in me in there in that room. I literally got up, walked out, didn't say shit to her parents, didn't say shit to the doctor. Like I said, something clicked. I went back to my house. I said to the being I remember being with and choosing to come take this journey with, I literally screamed out to the sky, dog. I said, if you hear me and my experiences are real, heal her and I'll stop shooting dope and I'll start living my life. Dude, about this time, it was about close to 3 o'clock in the morning, right after this. Oh, mind you, okay, when I said that, I instantly could feel and see the best that I can describe it as a light energy coming from the sky to me, from me, back out from the sky to her. Mind you, I was nowhere close to Wake Med, but I could see and feel this. Right after that, I get a call. Someone from Wake Med, you can come up and, you can come up here now and see her. I was like, well, her parents must have gave them my phone number, right? I get up there, I go inside. It's the same lady when I left at the front desk. She was like, honey, we didn't call you. And I later found out her parents didn't give them my phone number, so signed too. She's like, but you can go back, even though
Wait,
it was
hold on.
COVID.
Let's time out. So
Right.
sorry, Anthony, you get this being that tells you, like, you shout out to the heavens, I'll change, I'll be a better
I'll
man.
stop using, right.
I said, if you hear me, to the being that I remember having my pre-birth experiences with, which is my Lord, my rock, God, okay? If you hear me and heal her, I'll stop shooting dope and I'll start living my life. Remember those words, because we're going to come back to this later because it's very important. That's specifically what I said. I'll stop shooting dope and start living my life, right?
Yeah.
Felt that healing energy is what I know it is now. It was light healing energy coming from source and from me. They're utilizing my vessel as well, right? Because I was connecting. Right then I was connecting back with source, which I ignored for years.
Okay.
Right? So I go back up there. She's like, honey, we didn't call you, but I can let you go back there. I went back. I started touching and healing, touching on her and praying, and bam, the machines go off. She responded for the first time. The doctors run in, start healing her, start working on her. That's move forward to a month. She starts healing. Mind you, she has heart failure, kidney failure. She's on dialysis. Her lungs, she has a chest tube. Her lungs are collapsed with water and liquid issues. She hasn't been, she's been in bed. She's been in a coma.
Yeah.
She's been ran by machines essentially and equipment. And she starts healing to a point where we're about to get released the next day and she's about to go home. She's still going to be on dialysis, but she's healed enough. This is a miracle in by itself, y'all. Okay? She healed enough to where she was about to go home, right?
Wow. Okay, so
But
she
was
went from
still
like
gonna be on
dead to like
dialysis.
coming
Yeah,
home.
she had a main valve. So she was going to go in and get dialysis, right? Let me do this so I can look at you and talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so she was going to go get dialysis, right?
You can twist those little knobs and that'll tighten it up. The one on the
Got you,
bottom.
brother.
Right. Nope. The one you had you had it right.
I got you.
Right here. These like two right
Yeah,
here.
I got
okay.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, so check it out, dude. She was about to go home, right?
Right.
She was still going to be on dialysis.
Right, but she's going home.
She's
Like,
going home. It's a
miracle.
miracle.
Okay.
Right? I'm packing everything up. We'd been there for about a month by now. Okay? My addictions start coming into play. I have dope left over that I quit shooting dope, but I was still doing meth. I was still doing Xanax because remember those words. I said I would stop shooting dope and start living my life. So I did, but I was using meth to stay up because I had to sneak in there every night. It was during COVID. Only one person could go in the hotel room, into the hospital. It was her parents, and they were already breaking that rule so her mom and dad could go in, right? So when I say sneak in, the nurses and everyone wanted me up there because they knew I was helping and healing her, okay? I just had to get through some of the security, which I managed to do every night, no problem.
Okay.
But my dish is coming back to play. I go into the bathroom. I shoot that bag of dope I have left over, right? I'm like, this is bullshit, man. That didn't happen. None of this is real. I didn't just, that was something in my mind, right? This shit was not
like you're
happening.
saying like the
Whole healing because I stopped shooting dope, and I connected with God, and she was healed. I'm like, nah, this is bullshit, dog. Okay. So I shoot that bag of dope. Literally, I come out of the bathroom. Literally right after this, I'm like, I know I'm high, but she is acting fucking strange. She is acting different. She starts trying to tear all of her shit out, like take me home. I know that girl. That girl right there is someone that's not in her right mind. I've seen her thousands of times, messed up, right? She starts tearing out, and then she has a seizure, almost dies several times, back up into ICU. Yeah, dog. Yeah, so
but this happens as soon as
happens
you
right
shoot
after
up?
I shoot that bag of dope that I've been holding on to the whole time while she was healing.
Right.
You understand?
So David, so you feel like spirit probably did
That was my sign that this is all real. That was my sign that I needed to straighten my ass up, and this was all 100% real. Okay?
Like we ain't playing with you.
We ain't fucking around. This is real, dog. And guess what? I needed more. That wasn't enough. Dude, she goes back up in ICU. I'm going home that night. I'm like, if this is real, show me a sign. I'm driving down Old Stage Road. Bam, instantly, dude, a shooting star goes over right in front of my car. Wow. Like, instantly, bro. And I'm just like, wow. So, next day, obviously, I'm not shooting dope anymore that night. I get rid of everything. I get rid of all my needles and all my caps and all my meth. I stopped shooting meth. I stopped doing Xanax. I go to fucking start taking methadone seriously and stop drinking, all that, man. Start cleaning up. And guess what, dude? She starts healing again. It took a little while, but she started healing again. And not only did she just heal to the point where she was going to be on dialysis the rest of life, she healed to the point where she was off of dialysis by the time we left that hospital 2 months later about. Wow. Completely 100% heal. All of her hair fell out. She had to learn to walk again and learn again.
Yeah, right.
But she was completely healed. Till this day, she's sober from what I understand. 100% healthy. I'm sober since then. That's been almost 2 years.
Okay.
And
you're not together anymore?
No, we recently, a few weeks ago, separated. And really what it was, dog, is when that happened to her, she went into what I call like a coma, right? And when she woke up, I was a completely different person. I'm on this spiritual freaking awakening. And then once that happened, I couldn't stop. I went into this training and learning and research mode where I was on the computer, or I was in a book, where I was talking to people, researching all this shit every day, all day, or I was trying to heal her and get her back right. So there for a year, man, after we got out of the hospital, it took a long time for her to fully heal. You know, like I said, she had to learn to walk again. She had to grow all her hair back. She had to learn to talk. And she ended up getting the degree about, I think, 8 months after that. She started going back to school.
Oh, cool.
She ended up getting a degree. So it was successful, but
what were you studying? What were you trying to learn?
Oh, my God. Well, everything from all spirituality, religion. I've read the Bible several times, Old and New Testament, old ancient scripture. I'm still doing that, reading Greek and Hebrew stuff. So I'm reading the scripture translated.
Now, are you reading this because you're trying to find?
I'm reading this because I know there are many roads to my Father's mansions, and I know that there's truth in all of it.
Okay.
So that's what I believe.
Do you identify as a specific religion, or are you is it beyond,
identify as being spiritual, open to any religion that helps somebody?
Got it.
So if you need to practice something that allows you to live in love and light, then that's fine with me, because that's really the end goal. And what I think it really is when it comes to religion, this spiritual journey is something I had to unpack for. I thought it was something I had to pack for and learn all this stuff. No, once I ended up learning all this stuff, I realized real quick that I had to unpack all of my programming and all my fears that I've taken on in this vessel through years of trauma and out there on the street and dealing with people who don't know what the fuck they're doing either, right? We're all trying to figure it out.
So, David, just to go, because I want to go back to that spiritual, that happening, right? That whatever it was that came into you, because I've actually had this told to me several times before by personal family members of, now I was raised Roman Catholic, so my grandmother believed it was a saint that came to her and kept her alive for many years. Is it something that just kind of goes into you? Like, you know, I know we're kind of touching on orbs and stuff. Like, does it have anything to do with that? I know it's a spiritual world.
Okay, so to get to where I'm at right now has taken 2 years of daily work, hard daily personal work. I'm talking about the hardest thing I've ever done in my life has get to the point where I am right now, where I'm able to see orbs. See, I haven't always seen orbs. This is something fairly new. And the only reason I'm seeing orbs is because I have released most of my fear and most of my hate, and I'm living in love and appreciation. And when I connect with Source, my higher self, New Earth Gaia, my angels and my spirit guides, and love and appreciation, I'm able to instantly get footage of orbs, which to me, orbs are just Source and my spirit guides showing us that they are with us and that we are connected to them.
Now you mentioned.
So can you
go ahead? Sorry, no, you go ahead.
I was going to say, can you can you see future stuff, or is because I don't know if the
so I don't.
It sounds like a medium to me, or is it not?
Personally, I don't see any kind of future stuff. I feel stuff. I know when stuff's gonna happen, but it's not something that I do as a service.
Okay.
The biggest thing I do in that regard is roll dice and channel my higher self, David the Warrior, and the 13, which are my spirit guides. When I say the 13, that has nothing to do with any other number or anybody else's spirit guides out there. That's my 13 spirit guides, okay? So
can we stop there? What is a spirit guide?
Okay, so
I know, and if this is a lot
spirit guides could be several things for several people, all right? They could be a loved one on the other side. They could be one of your soul fam members that you don't even remember. They could be your angels. They could be your the several different entities out there that are part of your team that are you can connect with. They're always with us. You just forgot, dog.
Yeah.
It takes a while to remember. You know, I call my project Being Before the Veil of forgetfulness, right?
Oh.
We all accept that veil of forgetfulness when we choose to take this life and come live this life. We choose to forget where we came from so that we can live this authentic experience. That's what I believe. I was able to remember some of my choices of coming here, some of my pre-birth experiences. They're fragmented. I have fragmented pre-birth experiences. I have some friends that have very detailed pre-birth experiences. You can go on beingbeforetheveil.com, read my pre-birth experiences, and read everybody else's that has shared thus far.
Because you have a website called...
I have a website, beingbeforetheveil.com. Okay. That's a research project that catalogs and researches pre-birth experiences. And so far, over 34 people have shared, but 34 are on there right now.
34 on there right now.
Yeah, and that's been 2 years.
Now,
I thought I was by myself, dog.
Right.
For years.
Wow. And how do you find these other folks that have had these?
So after I had that awakening, after I found my girl died and had that awakening and really awakened me to my truths, because I've been hiding from my truths my entire life, right? That's all that did was wake me to my truths and allow me to walk in my skin and find out what I needed to find out to live in my truths, right? It's not easy to do. Doing what I did, dude, everyone's going to attack you. Loved ones are going to attack you. People in this society are going to attack you. Low vibe shit's going to try to fuck with you. But if you get on a high enough vibe, stuff can't even touch you, dog. That shit is frightened of me now. Things that used to scare me in the dark are frightened of me now because I can shrink it. I can transform negativity. Any kind of low vibe shit screams and runs from me now. Okay. You understand?
So to go back to the relationship. So I know that you were spiritual. This is what helped pretty much bring her back to life, I feel like, in this.
One of the things. I mean, her spirit guides, she had to want it too. Her higher self had to want it.
She obviously
a lot of
did.
things. Oh. And every person that, of course, every person that came in that room wanted her to heal. That's very important that I want to say. If you have a loved one that's in the hospital, don't go in that fucking room with negativity or blame or any of that shit. You got to go in there with straight love and healing intentions.
You know, it's crazy that you bring that up. I had an aunt who unfortunately had taken too many medications and had found herself in her deathbed. And my grandmother, I'm not afraid to say it, is probably the most negative human being I've ever met. And I'm not as spiritual as you are. I'm not on this journey like you are, but I'm a very positive. I am literally, I am powered by optimism. I can find optimism in anything. And so I'm sitting here like cheesing on my aunt on her deathbed about like the color scrunchie she chose to wear. And I'm like, damn, dude, the nurses put some like whack scrunchies in your hair. And I know how much you fucking hate scrunchies. And this shit I'm taking so many pictures right now, and I'm talking to her on her deathbed like this. And my grandmother would come in and just being like, nah, she's not any better than she was 4 days ago. Nothing is working. And I'm like, yo, what the
like
fuck?
Yeah,
like,
you're speaking
why
that
are you
into
in there?
Yeah, she's speaking that into fucking reality, dog. And guess what? That being is
and my aunt didn't make
that
it.
in.
Yeah, and she didn't make it.
Too.
And I had
this. You're weak enough, you're gonna believe whatever the fuck people put out.
And it's crazy, dude, because I remember going into the hallway and being very mad. And I said, "Listen, guys, like
that's because
I
you
don't
are
know,
spiritual, dog. You just don't know it. You're very powerful.
Yeah,
you're very. I wouldn't have been coming over here if that wasn't the case.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, not only that,
the other night if that wasn't the case.
I like it.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I do believe in a part of a lot of what you said, David, too. I mean, just to share a little personal of my own, my mother passed away a long time ago, but I do believe in the things that she was saying because she felt that there were people from the other side that were in the room with her. Mm-hmm. So I feel that when we walked in the room was extremely crowded to her, because it was her time to go. And that's okay too. That does unfortunately happen. But these people were welcoming her and they're like, okay, like, let's have you hold out for right now because we want the people that love you here in this world to see you. And like going to the negative person in the room. It's almost like, there were people waiting for your aunt on the other side, and your grandmother came in. They're like, okay, like this person's super negative. Like we're ready to take you over. Like because I think if you don't have that positive energy that like elates, like equates, or I don't know, outdoes the other, maybe then the energy is just kind of sucked out of the room. I don't know.
For the past 2 years during this spiritual journey I've been on, this ascension, if you want to call it that, this growth, I really have learned that to be true. I've tested it. I live it. Whatever you say, if you live in positivity, if you live by your words, you're going to have great stuff happen to you. If you live in negativity and you speak and believe negative shit's going to happen, dog.
True. Then everything turns to shit.
Of that. I mean, look at me 3 years ago and look at me now. I don't need to say anything else, really. I mean,
yeah, you look great.
So
David, thank you.
Go ahead.
You
too,
buddy. We all.
So David, after you broke up with your girlfriend, though, there was no.
I didn't break up with her. She left once I started getting the Army and Navy flying triangles around my house. And
get into the mic.
Yeah, started. She left after, basically after I started getting Orbs and the Army.
Let me stop him there because I know this is going to be confusing to you. and I've already talked to him once, Anthony. So, and listen, I've seen this. You have an Instagram page called Instagram page.
I have a YouTube called Being Before the Veil where I post Orbs every night.
But what is it? Where is it that you're tracking these military flight patterns?
Okay, so
I didn't believe it at first, Anthony, but then I got to see.
I have a plane tracking app where I track all planes that come around me because I need to know what's in the air because I'm taking footage of anomalies in the air. So it would only be responsible researcher to do that, right?
Like you want to know that it's not an
I
airplane
need to make sure
or
that
helicopter.
It's an actual real anomaly. Yeah, not a drone, helicopter, airplane, or any other kind of vessel. So I have a tracking app I pay for, and believe it or not, the first night I saw Orb, I saw a helicopter chasing it. I said, oh, that was interesting. Second night, I got footage of that, and I saw more helicopters and planes that day, and I was like, all right, I need to figure this out. Got the tracking
How are
app.
the two related, though?
Because it's the government, I started posting footage and images of fucking UFOs and orbs on the internet, dog. And then they started they wanted to figure out what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, if it's real. Any strong government, if someone like me starts putting videos of orbs onto YouTube, they're gonna come check you out, dog.
Trust me, I'm with you on that one.
They put so much money into this. And they want to know how come this guy, who's a felon, has had over 48 charges he's had to beat in his life, a fucking ex-junkie, how come he's able to connect with Source and God so fast and so easily?
Yeah.
Because, dog, I released all my fears, and I'm living in love and appreciation, and that's why they're showing me. And guess what? I'm nothing that special. You can do it, too. That's the secret I come to tell all of you.
This reminds me a lot of the Monroe Institute.
I've messed with the Monroe Institute.
Really?
Yep. It was very hard for me.
Well, let me just stop there. So for those of you who are tuning in, the Monroe Institute, which we're going to talk a lot about on this channel, the Monroe Institute, that's with remote viewing. The government spent $20 million.
Yep.
The government spent It's called Operation Stargate, and the government spent over $20 million with sleight of hand magicians, with sidekicks, and with remote viewers to try to channel different energies to kind of take down other forces, that the CIA was doing, but the CIA was definitely using, and so I mean, I figured if the government's spending $20 million, there's some amount of believability, if that's a word, or they wouldn't have spent $20 million if there was no way.
And that's all we know about. Right? So if that's what we know about, imagine what else they're doing. Okay? So Monroe Institute, the real big thing you want to take away from the Monroe Institute, if you want to get into astral traveling, is the Hemisync tapes. Okay? So what Hemisync does is sends basically different sounds to to different parts of your brain and allows you to get in that state to where you can meditate, astral travel, or channel.
Is that the same as like remote view?
Yep. Different people. To me, it's all the same.
Okay.
All right. Remote viewing for them was really being able to see what somebody else was doing, right? Or what else is going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing as astral traveling over and checking out what's going on, or connecting and channeling and figuring out an answer. I think it's all connected. I think it's all the same brain state you get into, that theta state and further, right? To where you're able to do that amazing stuff. So let me tell you this. If you want to try to experience what we're talking about, go onto YouTube, go onto your phone, download the Expand app, which is Monroe Institute's free app. Go on there and find some of the Hemisync tapes. Put earbuds in your ears.
Yes.
Go and
yes.
meditate.
Now that's a real thing,
It's
and
a
and there's
real thing, and that's how I learned to astral travel.
There's a great podcast out there that you can listen to. It's two psychiatrists, two doctors, who do go through these tapes, and they do this, and it has been proven on a smaller scale that these energies do change things. You would if you want to hear it like on from a doctor's perspective. Of course, they're very skeptical. They're very skeptical about it.
Well, they
all
have the brain waves
they're-
changing. They have data
right, but they do
yeah.
see that, but they don't have a way of really mapping it or knowing what's going on. But now the Monroe Institute, that was the Montauk Project, that was Going Back in Time Project. I mean, the Monroe Institute has been a part of all of the top secret operations throughout American history. Even working with former Nazis and Nazi scientists and things like that. So now, do you think that when you download an app like the Monroe Institute, and I do know somebody else that we might get on the show one day, I'm not sure, because they're like full on in the throes of study. I think they're at like level 5 or something like that. Like it's almost like they're trying to get belts in jiu-jitsu at this point, Anthony. But I guess you can go through
I'm
these
trying
like
to wrap my mind around it. Sorry.
they go through these like meditative states. So you get on this Monroe Institute app, they play sounds, they do things, and they teach you how to meditate and then go to different stages. And this guy has been studying it for, 2 or 3 years, and he's at like level 5 of like 14 or what. I don't know how many levels there are.
It works. I stopped using it because I didn't need it anymore. But it really helped jump me from meditating into astral traveling and channeling. It was really hard for me to meditate at the beginning of my spiritual awakening. I could barely close my eyes and sit still from all the drug use and trauma and just my mind going crazy. And it took about a year of practicing meditating in the tub every day. I'd take 10 baths some days in there meditating, and it was
David,
a lot. Now, water will help you. If you have a problem meditating or getting into astral travel, get into water, run a bath, get into water.
Because it's kind of like you're floating.
It helps you, yeah. And also, imagine energy rising through your energy centers, okay? That's how you rise up out in astral travel. All right, so what I did, make sure you have earbuds in, because the Hemisync tapes won't work without your earbuds in. Get earbuds, run those Hemisync tapes, get you a hot bath run, and start with your feet. Run that tape and start meditating. Dip your feet in that warm water. You're going to feel it going on your toes. And then work that energy up. Dip your legs in and your thighs and work that heat up, and then get your torso in, right? And continually meditating. And you're going to feel that energy and that heat rise, and you're rising that energy through your energy cycles, right? All the way up from your root chakra up, right? To your crown. And then once you do that, bloop, you'll go right out, dog. And some people, it depends on your who you are. I had a problem sticking around here at first. I was going straight up to where I came from, and I was ignoring everything down here. I just recently, in the past, I'd say 4 or 5 months, started astral traveling and around my home and around the area and stuff like that. Like, I got my property on lockdown when it comes to that kind of stuff, even underground. But that's going. We'll talk about that stuff later on once we break the.
Yeah. So when you leave your spirit body, you said you go to where you came from. What's it?
Yeah.
What's it? Are you able to explain what it's like?
No, because there's no words. All right. My pre-birth experiences, if you go look at that, it's almost impossible to describe. There aren't words for it. And the reason I think there aren't is we're so more advanced there than we are here. It's damn near impossible.
Where is there? So that
where
was
I remember coming from, where I remember choosing to come take this life journey. I could see what my body might look like with this other being. Astronomical amount of possibilities branching off depending on how I lived and moved in this body. But none of them were set in stone. We have free will. So you could see possibilities. None of them set in stone. And you could branch off of any of those and create something new. That's the whole allure about taking this journey from the other side, because that kind of stuff will make your body, your higher self grow.
Okay.
Because you're on the other side, everything's instant. Everything's communicated. Bloop. If you think something, it is there, right? So that can get stagnant. You don't grow there like you do here. It's more of a journey. So I think that's what it is, but that's just my personal belief.
Now, this sounds a lot like DMT to me, and I mentioned that to you when I first met you.
DMT a few times.
How does this correlate to DMT?
It doesn't. Some people that take DMT, have some similar experiences. You don't have to take DMT to meditate or astral travel or channel or be a spiritual person. Let me go ahead and drop that down, because you will never get to where people like me are going right now through drugs.
Right.
Plain and simple. You're never going to get the feeling I have right now from drugs. It's too good. It's too on demand. It's too powerful. And guess what? It's free, dog. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
I don't have to fuck with no motherfuckers either. I get my shit for free whenever I want it. I wake up buzzing, man. Peaking, dog. I wake up peaking on energy. Like I'm fucking... The best way to describe it is like I'm peaking on ecstasy, but way better.
Yeah.
And really, it's just Kundalini energy in a way. It's energy coming from source, energy coming from New Earth Gaia, which I'm attached to, and energy coming from my higher self, cycling through all my energy centers through my protection that I put around me, which is the 13. So I always have 13 of my spirit guides around me in a star configuration, and my Merkaba star body is the best way for you to envision it. So see this thing right there?
Yeah.
And that, basically, you can imagine something like that all the way around my body in a light.
Okay, what is that?
This right here is a Merkaba star.
Merkaba.
Merkaba. Merkaba.
I'll put pictures of the Merkaba star on our Night Shift TSI Instagram page.
You could imagine.
Yes.
Oh, that's not a Merkaba star. That's the Merkaba star.
So do you believe that where we are right now, this isn't like this is all temporary. Like this isn't real, right?
Oh yeah, it's as real.
Because I'm thinking you're talking.
It could be a simulation and still be real to us.
Right, but I'm thinking that like there's something way better after that, like outside.
Oh yeah, 100%. Eternal.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. My pre-birth experiences, I remember coming from that place. I remember.
That's what I was.
No matter what, I'm going back there, dog.
Right, and
Me personally, I'm going back to where I came from with my rock, my Lord, my God, right when I die here.
Yeah.
Buddy.
So David, Eric,
awesome.
have you guys I don't know if any of the listeners have either, but have you watched the show called Life After Death?
I've seen a few episodes. Yes.
Okay.
Actually, there's some people on there with pre-birth experiences.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's actually they've been studying this for hundreds of years. Okay, on people who have actually passed over for multiple minutes, just gone.
Yeah.
And everybody that has left this physical world explains something similar to what David is actually talking about, where it's so spiritual, and you are surrounded by all of them say that they remember seeing all of their loved ones who had passed over walk into the room. But besides that, after that, it was like cataclysm. It was like a galaxy. Like it was lights and beauty and euphoria. And then they were disappointed when they came back because of the sense of complete relaxation of no stress. So how does anybody that comes back, how can they remember that without at least a portion, and I'm not asking everybody to believe this, but at least a portion of it to be somewhat true if people and scientists have actually been studying this, right?
Yeah, and also I've had a couple near-death experiences myself. I had one when I was 3 years old at the Pittsburgh hospital, which is funny because if you go read my experience, you'll see I say that I don't know if I've always would have had my pre-birth experiences or if that was a result from my near-death experience at 3 years old when I got the pneumonia and was in the Pittsburgh hospital. Really sick. I saw my angel, one of my spirit guides, and my mom didn't see it, and the doctor and the nurse didn't see this angel that I was talking to, and it was just there comforting me, making me feel better. That's what I told my mom, and they didn't see her. And I know now she's always been with me. But and then I overdosed when I was 16. My poor mom, dude. I was dating this girl at the time, and I ran off to Myrtle Beach with one of my buddies. We made a hit and made a couple grand, and went out there and had some fun. Got a hotel room, and I was tripping acid and eating ecstasy for a few weeks. I came back home. I went and up to the Cary Mall, got some pills back in the day when pills were nothing, dude, because everyone had them. This was before the big opiate epidemic. I mean, everyone had them. I could trade a dime bag of some swag for, God, 20-something Vicodin. You know what I mean? They were dirt cheap, dude. And I remember I got a bunch of Vicodin or Perks. I can't even remember which one, but I was so messed up off all those drugs I've been taking those 2 weeks. I ate all of them because I wanted to go to sleep, and I'd been up so long. No. And I went back to my mom's house and overdosed on my mom before anybody knew what overdosing on opiates really was. You know what I mean? Right, I'm 16, dog. I'm 40 now almost. You know, so this is a long time ago. But I overdosed on my poor mom. I had a near-death experience, and it was a hard one. It was some of the things because I didn't know how to talk about it, or I didn't have anybody to talk to it about. My mom basically got me alive and healed, and then she ignored everything. That was the type of mother I had, you know. I couldn't really do anything wrong. She would just say, "Oh no, you didn't do anything. Let's move on." You know what I'm saying? So we didn't talk about it. And then I had another one with my ex. The first time I did real heroin, one of my buddies came over, and it had been years, and he threw out a big old gagger on the table, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take that." And he's like, "You sure, dog?" I was like, "Yeah, don't tell me what the fuck to do." And I did that shit, and I overdosed, dude. And that was probably the most peaceful near-death experience, and one of the strongest because I can remember it very well. It was recent. I wasn't 3, you know, and it wasn't negative like that other one. This one, I remember going outer body, seeing my body spinning and falling into the TV and then into the Dyson fan, and my body was weird. It went limp, man. It was like bent like a U over this, you know, the long Dyson fan.
Mm-hmm.
It was like propping me up, but like this, and I could see my body from like above the TV that I smacked into, because I smacked the TV and then did like a 360 onto that Dyson fan. Wow. And I was peaceful. And then I don't remember, like my girl said that there was a bunch that happened after that, but I don't remember anything else except for being peaceful, and that was that, dog. So, but
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that a lot of, you know, it kind of just correlated together with everything that you were saying. And then I remembered hearing people kind of speak about the same experiences, and it goes a lot with what we talk about all the time. You know, is there something else out there? Is there a world beyond this world? And you've seemed to really like tap into that.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to learn to be able to release these fears and strong enough to do it. Man, it was not easy, buddy. But if you do it, you're going to be able to go out there and see the same things
Now,
I see every night,
do you
which will
find
change
aliens?
your world. Huh?
Do you believe in the aliens or anything like that?
All right. So when it comes to aliens, what's an alien, right? I guess is the main question. What I can tell you is that I'm connecting with multidimensional or spirits, other beings that we don't really know. So yeah, we can call them aliens, but they're not the aliens. What I'm getting every night. In
so
my
you're thinking
mind,
that this is more, instead of being
it's the
extraterrestrial,
same
it's more
thing
spiritual.
that healed my girlfriend. It's the same spirits.
Sure.
It's part.
And
of
you think that the
source.
government, in like, you know, when we talk about like Star Trek and everything, like maybe they're not really looking for alien life forms as much as they're looking for spiritual life forms.
They're looking for both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're looking for it
I mean,
all.
they're bullies, so yeah, they probably are.
Yeah, they're looking for it all. Man. Dude, every day I go out and connect and astral travel and channel and get footage of orbs, and I can do it tonight with y'all standing right beside me. There'll
Dude,
be
bring
no
him with
tricks.
you.
There'll
Do a
be
seance.
there'll be no
Do a
tricks. There'll be
seance.
y'all stand anywhere, and I'll meditate, channel, and astral travel, and we'll get orbs on my phone.
Yeah.
So are there
Go to
good-
Being Before the Veil. Follow me. I'm about to get a grant to get sky tracking anomaly equipment, video cameras, night vision, infrared. I'm going to set up a mobile research RV, and I'm going around NC, and I'm going to teach people. We're going to research and find out exactly what they are. If it's an op, guess what? We're going to find out. Because they picked the wrong motherfucker to do an op on, dog. In between all this drug shit, I was an EHS consultant, environmental health and safety consultant. I've had extensive training on researching multiple cause incident analysis, the whole 9 yards. My dad was an investigator. I grew up with that shit. So we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna develop standard operating procedures or best practices, whatever you want to call them, for connecting and getting footage of orbs. And we're actually going to go out, give people equipment, get them to train them to do it all over the state and then all over the country. And they're going to feed their data back to our servers, and we're going to send it out to the world, and we're going to have everyone connecting and getting footage and evidence. And you're going to see that you can do it too, man, and you can raise your vibe. It's really about getting high vibe, getting out of that low vibe and that fear. Fear rules your world, dog, and it's making you fucking miserable. If you get rid of it, you're gonna have a new life, man. And you're not even gonna imagine how much cool shit you could bring in. Dude, every day, multiple times a day, I connect with other human beings and have spiritual experiences or have amazing opportunities, create beautiful shit every single day, dude.
Now, tell me, before we go on you here. Oh, my microphone's messing up here.
I can hear you.
Need to get another cable for this microphone. But you, and I don't want to like get too personal about it, but you sent me a video.
I'm an open book.
You sent me a video. I was meeting with a. I don't want to give out all the news yet, but I did write a book, and a major publishing house is picking the book up, and I actually landed a meeting with the publishing house, which is a really big deal. And the night before this, and I had just met you. This is within the week. Getting you ready for this. You sent me a video. Are you able to talk about that and what the video you sent me? I know you told me in the video to not share it with anybody.
Well, I just didn't want you to share the
respectfully.
video because my altar was on it, and I didn't want anybody to use things that I have on my altar against me.
Okay.
But yeah, so what I did for my buddy here is I channel, and I got my dice here, and I roll dice and answer questions. So if anybody has any questions they want answered, or if you want me to connect and channel for you, Being Before the Veil, hit me up. This is something new I started doing a few months ago and just got comfortable enough to share it with my friends and give it as gifts to some people I look up to or connect.
Yeah, I mean, I was really nervous because you explained it to me. You were like, "This is if I roll this is what's going to happen. If I roll that, that's what's going to happen." And not all those things were good things. So I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Well,
like,
I knew.
What are the fucking dice going to say?
I knew. I was channeling. I
die.
knew you were getting it, dog. You just didn't know it yet.
Yeah,
Like you had already done it. It was already done. You just had to roll it out. You just had to play it out if that's what you wanted.
sure.
Right? Because you could have stopped that if you didn't want that.
Yeah.
Right? So it
By
was
the
all up to
way-
you at that point.
By the way, David, so before we wrap up here, I know that we talked a lot about the helping and healing part of the spiritual world. What is your thoughts or opinions on the bad part of the spiritual world, whether it comes from demonic possessions or anything that has to do with, we see it all the time, like, I guess, hauntings.
Yeah. Don't open up to that shit. If you open up to it, you're gonna get your world rocked, son. You don't let any of that stuff in your home. You protect your home. You are the ruler of your home.
But
you
it
take
exists.
control of your home.
But it
Dude,
exists.
there's plenty of low vibe stuff out there. Oh yeah. And there's beings, dude. I can be a demon. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, of course. If there's spirits out there, which I know there are, there's gonna be low vibe, negative spirits, and some of them have tried to fuck with me. And guess what, dude?
Gone.
I got 2 astral swords.
You're like the Ghostbuster.
They're not in a way I don't fuck with ghosts, but if if a negative spirit comes in my area, I'm taking you home, dog. And I'm gonna.
So
shrink
wait, you
and
don't
take
fuck
you
with
home.
ghosts. Hold on, you don't fuck with ghosts or
I don't
ghosts.
go out into a haunted house and mess with ghosts. No. That's not what I
I'm
do.
saying,
Low
are
vibe.
the spiritual is spiritual and ghosts two different things? Two different.
No, I think it's all connected. Yeah, there's spirits everywhere.
Okay.
You know? Everywhere.
Now, what do
dude.
you think about these people who go and hunt for ghosts? Like, what are they fucking with?
I don't know. I mean, it depends. There's so much stuff out there, dog. Think
You're
of how
about to find
many
out.
different religions there are. How many, it depends on what you're connecting with.
Right.
There's so much, dude. Okay. There's so much out there. You could connect with any of it, really.
So many worlds.
Yeah, so many
different
worlds, so many different
realms.
beings, benevolent beings, low vibe beings, high vibe beings, different beings
Which
attached to
culture
religious.
do you think was the most in tune with high vibe beings?
Again, any of them where somebody is using that tool, which I think a religion is just a tool for someone to live in love and appreciation.
Right. Do you think there was like a certain
That's
culture
as
like
easy as I think it should be. I think we overcomplicate this shit. Like I said, it's a journey we had to unpack for. Okay. All that programming, all that stuff leads to how much hate and how much fear.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think of how much hate and fear and killing there's been over that kind of stuff. We need to unpack that stuff and realize that we're all brothers and sisters. And if you start living in love and appreciation, you're going to see your life do a fucking 360 and you're going to see magic shit happen. It's really so simple. It's hard. It's so fucking simple. It is hard for us to do. You understand?
Yeah.
Right.
It's so simple. It is fucking hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now going back to the cultures, like Egyptians versus Mayans versus, do you think was there any, because there's a lot to be said about the Egyptians, the perfect pyramid, the diamond,
gosh, a lot.
like the alignment of the stars, celestial, astrological, all the things, right? Do you think there was a particular culture that understood this on a more massive scale than we do? Like, because if you look at it in the culture that we live in now, you're an anomaly, right? Like you're one of very few people who are awakened to this kind of spirituality. You're the first person I've ever met that's awakened to it. Do you think there was ever a civilization or a culture that grasped what you had or what you have?
Yeah, definitely. And it was probably us living in parallel lives or past lives.
Ooh, I love
or whatever you
parallel
want to.
lives.
Yeah,
I love
me
that
too, dude.
theory.
Yeah, I think it's more
so
parallel than it would be past, But it's
American
how-
Indians had a lot of connection to the spiritual world. Still do.
Yes, yes,
They-
so
they-
much.
they-
And I dealt with
they
that out of
have
Outer
healed.
Banks. I connected with them, and I'm going to go up to the mountains and connect with them too.
they still heal through spirit. I
You
mean,
know
they
you're a
are
healer
probably the
too.
most spiritual-
Do you know that you're a healer as well?
Am I?
Yes, you are. You are a healer, and so are you. We're all healers. We just don't know that
We're
we
not
are.
using that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not using it. We can heal ourselves. We have the power to heal ourselves. If you know you're going to heal, you will heal. If you know anything, it will eventually happen. So look, I'm on this methadone. I'm coming down as much as I can every week to get off this shit. I got about 5 more weeks. The lower you get down, the more sick you get, right? Every morning, dude, I wake up with the most debilitating stomach pain and nausea and the fucking shits. It sucks. And it can last for hours, but I transform that shit every morning at 5:30 in the morning or earlier within 15 minutes to longest now is about 30, 45 minutes, where I used to be out all day from that shit, or hours. I mean, dude, my ex thought I was dying sometimes. That's how, like, I'd be yelling in pain. Yeah, dude. So it's really been a fucking miracle for me, remembering that I'm a healer. Seeing that I could help heal her through death and all organ failure made me realize that we're all healers. I would have never have called myself a healer 3 years ago. I would have never have said I was a spiritual man 3 years ago. I would have never said that I could help other people realize they can also live in love and appreciation and create greatness. Never, dog. I would have never even talked about this shit. I went through most of my life not talking about my pre-birth experiences. The moment I started living in truth and love and appreciation, my life got millions of times better. Ask anyone that knows me or has seen me.
That's great.
That's
Well,
awesome.
you're awesome.
Hey, you're awesome.
We
dude.
really appreciate you coming on,
I appreciate y'all.
and tons of love and appreciation there. Tell our followers how they can follow you, where they can follow you, and how they can be a part of your journey.
Please go follow me on YouTube at Being Before the Veil. That's BEING before TH. There it is. Thank you, sir. You're the man. And I'm almost halfway to being monetized, baby. And then I got these grants I've been working on for a year. If you're interested in this stuff, or you want to learn how to live in a love and appreciation, release your fear and connect with these orbs, or you have pre-birth experiences, hit me up, Being Before the Veil on YouTube, TikTok, or beingbeforetheveil.com to check out our project on pre-birth experiences. Oh, y'all are awesome. Look at that.
Well, we appreciate that. Actually, matter of fact, Anthony and I, at the end of this year-long project of diving into the rabbit hole, we were actually going to put together a book kind of what we learned, and just some bathroom Reader's Digest style writing. Nice. So we're definitely going to add you into the manuscript of our little journey here. It's been awesome. You've helped us learn. Anthony, do you have anything that you want to close us out with?
I just followed him on TikTok. Sorry.
Yes.
No, I think that you're amazing. I think that you're going to definitely resonate with people because, I mean, look, we're just talking, both Eric and myself have both had people in our families that have had some type of spiritual situation happen, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm really, it's makes me happy to see that you came from something that was super, super negative in your life and stuff that was negative. You look healthy to me. You look happy and you look healthy, and that's all that matters.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. For those of you guys out there tuning in,
beautiful.
Make sure you follow us on Night Shift TSI on the Instagrammies. This was Conservative Ant, Anthony Raimondi, and myself, Eric Tansey, from the Failure to Stop Podcast Network. Again, the show is brought to you by ghostbed.com /Wolfpack. Sleep so good, it's scary. Woo! Until next time, guys, stay frosty out there. Also, if you have something you want to talk about on this show, if you have a story, it could be anything of the paranormal, top secret information, anything of the sort, you can DM us at Night Shift TSI. Remember, Anthony has over 300,000 followers on his Instagram. So that one is full of DMs. Revert all of your paranormal stuff to Night Shift TSI. And then Anthony will be able to respond to you there. And he'll know exactly what this is for this project, or myself will respond to you. One of the two. That's Night Shift _TSI for top secret information. Share us with a friend. Tell somebody else about us. And Anthony, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. I'm super excited.
All right, man. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much, David. We really appreciate you. Cheers.